Vermont USA spokesperson, attorney, and Republican strategist Erin Elmore. And we have host of the Young Heretics podcast with absolutely no relation to the Daily Wire's Andrew Klavan, Spencer Klavan.
Every American should remember, history has never been kind to those who've sided with voter suppression over voters' rights.
I mean, he quite literally is saying, he says, he's pointedly asking them a direct question. How do you want to be remembered? Essentially, he's quite spelling out, if you don't go on the side of the Voting Rights Act, you are Bull Connor, you are George Wallace. This is your time to choose who you want to be. I guess that asking this question, he's decided, no, I actually didn't say that. And he snaps at a reporter. So let's show Biden's response to Biden now.
You campaigned and you ran on a return to civility. And I know that you dispute the characterization that you called folks who would oppose those voting bills as being Bull Connor or George Wallace.
Forcefully on what I think to be at stake. That's what it is. And by the way, no one forgets who was on the side of King or Bull Connor.
There's a lot to unpack there. So, I mean, first of all, he stole that speech. There was which side are you on? That was completely plagiarized.
Really?
In fact, I don't recall who, if someone in the room with the Google machine can see who that was plagiarized from, because it was. But the polling is showing that his approval ratings amongst young people and independents is in the 20%. A lot of young people, if you want to persuade the younger generation, you don't make analogies that are 60, 50, 40, 30 years old. I don't think this is resonating with young people, his words. And it's really scary that he thinks he's being persuasive. All he's being is bullying and divisive.
I mean, I am so sick of getting yelled at by this old man. It's like old man yells at cloud. No, but and the really, on a serious note, the thing that is remarkable is these are the same people who are currently in the process of rewriting American history from root to branch.
They edited history in real time. And they say they rush to defend his Bull Connor smear, and they said, while Biden didn't explicitly accuse those who don't support the voting bill of being racist. Anybody actually believe that the fact checkers are telling you the truth when they're funded by, George Soros and funded by all of these groups, the CDC, whatever it is?
No, so what has always been time.
And that time is now.
And that time is now.
Right. The thing that we were doing, we're going to keep doing.
Right.
What are they talking about?
It doesn't even make sense. It's no logical sentence structure. But back to the fact checking, it's a huge business now. It's a very lucrative business right now. Twitter's fact checkers, I believe, are Thomson Reuters. They have the same financial ownership as Pfizer.
Clearly.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
Alex Berenson, who was a New York Times writer, had no interest in the business of vaccines, sort of became awoken, or he was aware, and he started talking about vaccines and their lack of effectiveness and how corrupt the pharmaceutical companies were. What did they do? They kicked him off Twitter. And now everything he was saying is undisputably the truth.
Right.
Still not on Twitter, folks.
Yeah, and
brought to you by Pfizer.
Right. I mean, and it's true. They're sponsoring the entire web. These people have so much, and I always encourage people. I'm like, you need to just look into who is funding the fact checkers. I mean, do you actually think these are fair? They're fact checking doctors. You have little scrubs that are being paid that have they are not medical. They have no ties to the medical community that are fact checking doctors and saying that doctors are wrong and lying. Facts are waking up.
Yeah. So many people saw your latest Instagram videos and wanted me to thank you because you are really exposing the truth about the pharmaceutical industry. And the Democrats should be careful because you have like the eco-leftists that are anti-vaxxers and you have all of us normal people that are, so like there's a small portion that's down for these mandates.
Right.
And by the way, Bill Gates and all of us have the same medical degree. Why is he telling us how to live our lives?
Yeah. Dr. Malone gets, And, Bill Gates dropped out of college. Dr. Malone is censored off of the web. You can't find, you can because obviously Joe Rogan hosted him, but he gets censored off of all platforms. This is the guy who invented the mRNA technology, and yet Bill Gates gets to stay on and is put at the forefront of every news, industry saying, listen to what he says. And by the way, he's predicting another pandemic. This came out yesterday.
Smallpox
pandemic, and he's investing in vaccines more than ever before because he's predicting it. Well, we have a good update. We have a new word that has been added to the New York Times lexicon, I guess. They're starting to now use this term menstruator because, it's offensive to use that disgusting W word that we used to use. So they're putting that into its copy to describe, us fellow menstruators.
Want to get bleeped.
So there's young people watch my show. We don't want to get bleeped.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, I can't even respond to this, if I'm being honest with you. I can't even respond to this, so I'm going to let Spencer respond to it.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
This is my male privilege. I'm going to mansplain this to you.
I need some mansplaining.
Yeah. As the only man on this panel. No, I mean, this is actually heartbreaking to me. What this is a story about is a woman who makes menstrual products, and her whole line is about shame. We shouldn't be ashamed of menstruation. We shouldn't be ashamed of our bodily functions. And I read the way that these people talk about.
It's so sad because giving birth is such a beautiful, difficult experience. And they're trying to make, anyone can do it. It's no big deal. It is a big deal. It is special. One of the most special moments probably in our lives. Why can't that be celebrated as something that we've done? Instead, I mean, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. It's no big deal. You're not special for doing this. And we are special. And it is special enough.
And I really...
to create a world where everyone feels they belong. We're wanting to start a movement to remind everyone that despite our differences, we have an incredibly powerful thing in common. Increased color palette, as well as the different sizes and shapes of our lentils.
We're not going to get those 45 seconds back. We just had to watch that.
Listen, if a pack of M&Ms gives you anxiety, if you've ever thought this critically about a pack of M&Ms, you need to be deported. You gotta go. There's no value you can add to American society.
I love that.
We don't deport people anymore.
That's true, yeah.
On the shore everywhere.
I love, Gen Z is the most anxious
No
generation.
kidding.
So what we really need is to cater to that. We really need is to design an M&M that makes them feel like it's okay.
Could you imagine?
I also want to know, what, sharing what we all have in common inside of us, like chocolate? Like
what are we talking about?
Yeah. No, I mean, corporate America knows, where its bread is buttered. I have no doubt that this person, whatever sad flunky they got to put her face on camera and talk about the importance of self-empowerment in the green M&M.
African women, this powerful cover, great, okay, amazing, and it's beautiful, I love it, amazing. Everyone's needs to make a statement now about race, we get it. It's still not good enough for the left. Someone actually wrote, is British Vogue's latest cover the best way to celebrate Black beauty?
And this is what I say to everyone all the time. You never bow to the leftist mob. You don't give them an inch. Because guess what? You give them a finger, they want a hand. You give them a hand, they want an arm. Once they're out your arm, they want a pound of flesh. You never apologize to the mob. You never bow to the leftist mob because when you do, this is what they do. I want more. Give me more. Give me more. Not good enough. Why when you issue the apology, you get canceled, you get fired from your job. Enough is enough.
Right, and it's so clear. I mean, these women were obviously not offended because they did the shoot, but somebody has always steps up to the plate in lefty crazy land and is offended for other people. So
I don't want you to apologize for living a nice life or having nice things. They want you, you went on vacation. How dare you? There's starving children in LA. I said, I believe in capitalism and I've worked very hard. I'm going to take a few days off. They want you to shame you into misery and silence.
Yeah.
This was what, when we were having our grand 2020 reckoning, and we were all supposed to talk about race in America. I thought, if somebody comes up to me and says, your shoe's untied, and it is, then I'll bend down and tie it.
Crash and a bunch of monkeys escapes, literally a bunch of monkeys. It was on its way to a lab, and the Pennsylvania state trooper kind of spoke to the press and talked about this, and they were looking for these monkeys. They say that they have been accounted for. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they've been accounted for in someone's house, someone's basement, or it's just somewhere in the woods.
That's Governor DeSantis' fault, of course.
They were definitely headed to Florida. I just thought that was a very weird, funny story. I again, team monkeys. I don't want them sent to the lab. We know what's coming next. It's